Hey everyone, welcome back to Hope Regained with me, Chris. Today, what we wanted to talk about was about a relationship with yourself. The most important thing is that we have the best relationship we can with ourselves. And we don't talk about it enough. We tend to focus on everybody else around us. And in all honesty, how can you really have a good relationship with someone you care about if you can't give that same care to yourself first? You need to build yourself up first before you can show up for them. And a lot of us don't even know what that looks like. So let's dive right in. What does having a relationship with yourself look like? Well, first off, it's about really getting to know yourself. You ask those hard questions, honesty, self-awareness, really get to know who you are. How do you feel? What makes you tick? If somebody were to ask you and just come up off the street, would you be able to answer those questions? And if you did answer those questions quickly, would they be accurate? Or would you have to give it some second thought and say, well, hang on, have I even really thought about it? Once you start there, you need to learn to love yourself as you are. Give yourself acceptance. Maybe we're not so accepting of others around us, but if we are going to be, and if we're going to make it a better place, we need to start with us first. Self-acceptance gives us the premise to be a little bit more accepting of ourselves and then of others around us. Then the big other one is learning to forgive ourselves. I always talk about the baseball bat that we keep beating ourselves up with. But why do we do that? We need to learn to forgive ourselves. If we ask for forgiveness from someone else, that's not going to give us the total healing that we need first and foremost. It needs to come from within. It's easy to say, yeah, I forgive myself, but do you truly feel it? And let's face it, even when we're forgiving somebody else, at the end of the day, we're benefiting ourselves. We're releasing that anger and pent-up energy that we don't need to hang on to. So let's start with forgiving ourselves. Learning to prioritize ourselves. We put everybody else on the priority list. But how does that work? When you do that, I think we feel a sense of responsibility. That's what we're supposed to do. But in actuality, we're not giving much of ourselves unless we're our own priority first. Now, that doesn't mean doing things that are going to harm others. What I'm talking about is saying, okay, I need to recharge. I need to fill up the bucket. You need to have something to give before you can give it. So if you're not top on the list for care, then how are you going to care for the other people that you love? It's tough. Plus, if you're going to be a better you and enjoy life that much more and spread that positive energy, it's got to come from here. You've got to be comfortable with who you are. How many people do you know that can sit at home alone on a Friday night and be comfortable with that and not be lonely? So many people struggle with loneliness. I get it. We have a human need to connect with others and have relationships. It's important. We all want that. We all want to feel accepted, loved. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to enjoy our own company too, be our own best friends. Hey, if you want to be a good best friend to somebody, then shouldn't you be that best friend to yourself first and enjoy spending that time with yourself? Then the emptiness is not so daunting. You're not looking all the time for something else to fill that void, that emptiness. You're filling it up yourself. It's a great way to start. And at the end of the day, you always have to be accountable and responsible for yourself. We're responsible for our choices. Let's face it, we make bad choices sometimes. Yeah, sure, we make great ones, but we also make bad ones. And that's okay. It's part of being human. We make mistakes. It's about learning from them. But we're not going to learn from them if we don't own them, if they're not ours, if we don't take responsibility. It's like when you go to a checkout or customer service, you're not happy about something, and that store, for example, doesn't take responsibility for their own items. You get frustrated. Well, people around us are the same way with relationships. If people take responsibility and accountability for themselves, then you can trust them more. Well, shouldn't you be able to trust yourself too? If you take accountability and responsibility, you can work on those things. You can move forward. You can build yourself up. You can use it as a way to grow. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Is it scary? Yeah, a lot of times it is. Do we want to face those challenges or those negative feelings that we have? A lot of times, no, we don't. But we can grow from it. We can have that stronger relationship with ourselves over it. Is there a benefit to all of this? Absolutely. Look, if you want greater relationships with the people around you that you care about, you want to feel closer, you want them to respect you more, same vice versa. You want to have that bond. We all do. Then that's where you've got to start, with yourself. And with that, that will in turn move outward. That connection with yourself will give you self-confidence, a sense of well-being. You'll feel calmer. You'll just feel stronger because you start to know who you really are. And that's important. And that in turn gives you an opportunity to have healthier relationships with others. If you can be open and honest with yourself, you can be open and honest with them. You can have better dialogues, better communication. It just strengthens that bond. It makes it feel more natural and relaxed. You feel more connected. You push that emptiness and loneliness away. It's not up to other people. They can't fill you up. We always think it's an outside factor, and it's not. And that next new cell phone or that next brand new shiny car, that's not going to fill you up either. At the end of the day, if you feel good with being with you, you're already filled up. And the rest of it just starts to happen on its own. You don't feel lonely when you're alone. It's okay. You start building a stronger self-awareness and resilience to outside influences. When you're aware of yourself and comfortable in your own skin and love and respect yourself, all those outside voices and negativity don't hurt you as much. It doesn't take away from living. It doesn't take away from your joy. You can block it all out because you build up those defenses. You're good in that skin of yours. That's your force field. You really start to understand your purpose and your needs. You start to be able to set those goals for yourself to achieve everything that you want, something else that will fulfill you. Your purpose is something that gives you joy. It's a reason for waking up in the morning. So to have that better purpose, part of that is having a relationship with yourself to see what it is. And at the end of the day, it's much easier to set healthy boundaries. And I know we just talked about that a couple of episodes ago. Healthy boundaries are so important in so many ways. And you'll find that all these topics, they interlink. They're all pieces of the puzzle to make that big picture. And those healthy boundaries, once you know yourself and you're comfortable within your own skin, you have that relationship with yourself, you know what your limits are. It's easier for you to stand firm on them and to express them. So that is another advantage of having that relationship with yourself. You're happier. Who doesn't want to be happier? We all want to feel that joy. We all want to feel that excitement for the day to start, a reason for living. It opens up those experiences to joy. We're more vulnerable, we're more accepting to feel our emotions instead of hiding behind a barrier. We don't need the positive confirmation from everybody else. We can get it from ourselves. It's the start. Who wouldn't want to feel that joy and that comfort and safety from within instead of having to depend on somebody else to give it to you? I know I don't want to. Yes, it's lovely and it's important and it's great to have that, but to rely on somebody else all the time, I don't want that either. And that's putting a lot on them. So we need to start putting it on ourselves. That safety and comfort allows us to feel things and emotions and expressions, everything that we want to feel that much more. It's excitement. It's wonderful. And here are the things now that happen, I guess you could say, if we don't have a relationship with ourselves. Something right off the top, again, and I said it a couple times already, is that there's a void. We're missing a piece. We keep trying to chase after everything to fill it. The next new best, or keeping up with the Joneses, or things sometimes as much as alcohol, drugs, or it could be unhealthy relationships, codependency, hanging on to people because they're supposed to make me feel better. And at the end of the day, it's not going to work. You're always going to rely on something that's unhealthy, unsafe, and it just spirals out of control. So with those voids filled, then we don't have to chase the next best thing. We don't have to look for somebody else to make us happy. And we shouldn't be looking for somebody else to make us happy. That's on us. It's our own. When your mood is dependent on other people in your life and situations, do you really have control? I don't think so. It's like a speeding truck, whizzing down the street. You can't reach out and stop it. It all depends on them. Do you really want that? I know I don't. I don't want to depend on people. That's what develops and is the beginning of codependency, or a way of expressing codependency would be through not having a relationship with yourself. You're relying on that person. You need to be with them. They need to charge you. We'll talk about codependency more in depth later on in future episodes, but that's something also with guests. We can demonstrate experiences they've had and how that's changed, future guests that we have coming up, and how it's changed for them after having a relationship with themselves. It worked for me as well. I had a severe codependency problem. And once I was gone and the loneliness left and I felt fulfilled in my life, I didn't rely on others for my happiness anymore. That relationship was key. Everybody says, don't you ever feel lonely? And no, I'm not dependent on others for my happiness. And neither should you. With everything going on out there, it's so easy to get sucked into the misery. Depend on yourself for that happiness. Keep it out. If you're uncomfortable when you spend time alone, you also need to wait till somebody invites you out, or trying to get out there, chasing crowds perhaps, or somebody to have company with. You're not really necessarily getting to know the person for who they are because you really appreciate them. When that happens, it's easier for somebody to target you like a narcissist, and that's another topic we'll get into at a later date. Right now we're working on fixing ourselves, but you're leaving yourself open because you're so desperate to have that company instead of being comfortable being in your own skin. Hey, it's okay to go to a movie by yourself. I've done it. And eating in a restaurant by yourself, a lot of people are really uncomfortable with that one. I know. You get used to having that conversation over the table. And I am the next best person who loves that conversation too. But when I'm on my own, I'm okay. It's okay for me to sit there. I don't feel like everybody's looking at me. I'm in my own space. I can have those positive conversations with myself. It's quite all right. And the other thing about not having that relationship with yourself, you'll notice racing thoughts, not understanding your own emotions. Once you start to get to know yourself and you really start to understand how you feel, what you feel about different things, those emotions that crop up, then you can also start to calm those racing thoughts. So having a relationship with yourself eliminates a lot of that. Yes, it takes work, but over time, it starts to quiet the mind. Why? Because you're a better friend to yourself. And good friends don't lash out at other people. So that's another thing you would notice. You don't have a relationship with yourself if those emotions aren't known to yourself, or if those racing thoughts keep getting out of hand. So we can pull back and really work at this. We'll get ourselves out of that rut and depression, and we'll leave the baseball bat for somebody else. That's what we'd want to do with building this relationship. And lastly, if you don't have control over your life, or you feel like you don't have control over your life, or you're lacking that self-respect, then that's another indicator. I don't have a relationship with myself. Because if I have a relationship with somebody and I respect them, then shouldn't I have that same respect for myself? And that self-respect goes a long way. It rubs off. People see it. They feel it. They sense it. You'd be surprised at just how much that energy can spread. It goes outwards. Just by somebody standing next to you, they sense a lot of this. So where do we start? It seems daunting, overwhelming. It's a lot of work. And a lot of times when things get overwhelming, we just got to start with the first step. You're not going to solve it overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It's something you're going to work at for the rest of your life. I know I still do. And I've been doing this for years. Self-discovery, learning, education, reading. But the rewards, I can't even begin to tell you. The rewards have brought me more joy, happiness through even the toughest struggles I've been able to get through, and the friends that I've been fortunate enough to pick up in my life. I can't even tell you how thankful I am. They're phenomenal people. And that's because my energy changed and my relationship changed with myself. So you can do it too. You've got to commit. You got to make that promise. We're so frequently making promises to people. Are they empty ones? Because if you're making empty promises to them, you're likely making those empty promises to yourself. So we need to make that commitment. We're worth it. You're worth it. Let's give it a shot. The work is just a fraction of time a day. And if you spend that time reading, switch up. Reading on getting to know yourself. If you spend time playing video games, what's 15 minutes to spend time on yourself instead? It doesn't take a whole lot. It's for you. It's worth it. It's about self-reflection and journaling. It will help you understand your feelings. So let's start there. Each evening, or you can set aside some time, your lunchtime maybe, when you're sitting at that restaurant by yourself. Journal. I've done it. Pull out the book, old-fashioned handwriting, not even a cell phone. It was my time with me. I put it aside. I turned it off. Write down and journal. Make that commitment to yourself. Set a scheduled time in a day, just like you would for an appointment. This is an appointment with you. And as you look back over time, you will start to develop that connection with you. It is enlightening. You will feel lighter right away. It will be about being accountable with yourself, being honest. Now, again, when I say honest and accountable, it doesn't mean being mean. It doesn't mean being unforgiving. It just means taking ownership of what's yours and what you need to work on, or what you want to work on, or what you'd like to see different. That's not a bad thing. It's learning, it's growth, it's honesty. If you're going to be honest with someone else, you have to be honest here first. You want them to be honest with you, your friends, your family, your loved ones, then start with you. It will come. You can't expect something of someone else unless you can expect it from yourself. And it's okay. Accept constructive criticism. Again, it's not about being mean. People can not really know how to deliver it. Well, sometimes it's just about picking out the parts that will help you grow from it. They may need to learn how to deliver the message. And how are you delivering that message to yourself? Think about that as well. What makes you happy? What in your life, take away all the responsibilities, push that aside, and list out what really makes you happy in your life. What gives you true joy? When you see something, do something, what's that feeling inside? What truly makes you uncomfortable? Now, there's some things that make me uncomfortable. Heights, I can avoid them. They're not going to impact my life. But there are other things that make you uncomfortable, like going out of the house, perhaps. For some people who are agoraphobic, that's a big thing. Then we have to learn how to push ourselves out of those comfort zones, because it's going to have an impact from what we enjoy, bringing that joy. So really look at those two sides. What brings you joy and what makes you uncomfortable. That's a big list to start with. And celebrate yourself. When you hit milestones, when you start working towards those goals, don't look at this great big, I'm going to be this up here. Do it in small steps, baby steps. So you give yourself a time to have a celebration for yourself. It will feel like you're finally getting there. It's not something that's a long stretch. It's not overwhelming. You want to be able to feel like, I can do this, and pat yourself on the back. You're going to be your best cheerleader. Not necessarily anybody else is going to be aware that you're taking these steps. You don't have to tell anybody. They'll start to sense it, but you don't have to announce it to the world. This is about you. Write it down, and write it down. Everything that you see in writing makes it so much stronger, much more committed. And the work is worth it. Again, you're worth it. You learn, read, watch videos, find what works best for you. What builds you up? What gets you excited? If you read a book or watch that video that gives you that insight you need, it's worth it. It feels good. And once you start getting that feel good, you'll want more. We want you to succeed in living your best life ever and rediscovering that love for life, so that when you hit the floor running every morning. Take control of your happiness. No one else is responsible for it. Commit the time for yourself. You're number one. You can't be number one for anybody else until you're number one for yourself. If you like this podcast, follow, subscribe, or share it to somebody else if you think it could help them. Reach out and connect with us at any time. www.hoperegain.com. We're here for you too. We want to support you along your journey. And we have resources on our episode pages that you can find further learning. We only scratch the surface here. We don't want to put you to sleep and give you too much information in one shot. So have a look there and find what resources are best for you. And listen to our podcast on your favorite platform with a new episode every Monday. Give yourself a hug. You're on your way. And we'll see you the next time.